Hey guys, so today's video is episode 2 in my makeup stash series. The first video I posted was my bronzer collection, and we went through my whole bronzer collection, and today it is highlighters. I asked you guys on Twitter if you wanted to see blush first or if you wanted to see highlighters first. And like 80% of you said you wanted to see highlighters first. I will link my bronzer collection down below if you have not seen it. But if you don't know, I'm doing this series on my channel where I show you guys like my entire makeup collection, but in little sections. So today, well, very big sections. Today it's highlighters, and we will go through all of my highlighters, and I'm swatching them and all that stuff. And I do not know if you guys are prepared for what you are about to see, because I love highlighters. I love them. By the way, this makeup look, I just filmed it, and it will be up sometime next week. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, I have more high-end highlighters than I do drugstore. I have a lot of drugstore blushes, but for some reason the drugstore lacks like those amazing highlighters. Well, the drugstore highlights I have are amazing, but you know what I mean? I feel like they need to just like start coming out with amazing highlighters at CVS. So the first little pile of highlighters I'm gonna be talking about are liquid highlighters. I don't have too many liquid ones, so I'm gonna go through these first, and in no particular order, let's begin. This is the Body Shop Radiant Highlighter. It's a liquidy highlighter that has a pinky champagne, more pinky silver actually, undertone. It's actually really, really beautiful. How I like to use this one is more of like a primer. I like to put this on my entire face and then put my foundation on top. I purchased this one at a Body Shop in California, and I love it. I think the quality is really good. You could also use this as like a spot highlighting, like you would normally highlight. But it is really nice before my foundation. I haven't mixed it with foundation, but I like it as like a really super intense primer. This is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Opal. This is not the pressed one. I have the pressed one in Opal as well, but this is the liquid one. Out of all of their liquid skin perfectors, I love Opal the most. It's such a beautiful, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a champagne with a little bit of gold, with a little bit of pink. I don't know, the undertone is just like kind of unique if you think about it. It works well with so many skin tones. I'm talking so many skin tones. I love using this mixed in with my foundation. This one I like to use it alone, but this one looks great as a primer. It looks great mixed with your foundation. It looks great by itself. This one is definitely a really, really good one. So this is my favorite liquid highlight of all time, and I rarely use it on camera. I don't know why, but this is the Josie Maran Argan Illuminizer. They have a different packaging now, which the packaging they have now is better than this. I feel like the pump is better. So this comes with a pump. It's amazing. It's a super, super intense gold highlight, like real intense and beautiful. I highly recommend this one because it's the most intense, I feel, out of all of the liquid ones I have, but it's nice. I also have this one that I purchased myself. This is the Gerard Cosmetics BB Plus Illumination Facial Cream. Now, I had to get another one. They did send me another one because the pump was broken on my original one. But this one is very, very similar to the Josie Maran. The Gerard Cosmetics one is more of a lotion. This one's a little bit thicker, more creamy. I like this one a lot better. Not a lot better, but I do like this one better. But this one is great to mix with your foundation as well. I'm not like a huge fan of Gerard Cosmetics, but you know, that's a good one. It's a good product. It's a good product. Okay, and last in the liquid highlight category, I have these three right here. I got this during the holiday. It came in like a little set. These are Becca Shimmering Skin Perfectors. It's basically this, but during Christmas they had like little ones. I have Opal Champagne Gold, which is like a yellowy gold color, and then I have Pearl, which is like a whitish highlight. I really love this one actually. Doesn't look like something I would like, but it's very nice. I have 3 cream highlighters, which is weird because I actually really like cream highlighters. I'm surprised I only have 3 of them. And 2 of them are MAC cream color bases. I have this one in the shade Pearl, which is the first one I ever purchased, and then this one in this shade Shell. This is actually the highlight I'm wearing on my cheekbones right now, Shell. I have like a powder highlight on top, but the main glorious thing on my face is Shell. These are amazing. They last all day. Probably one of the most long wearing highlights in my collection are these guys because they set on your face and then they don't go anywhere. This one's more of a white gold and this one is more pink. Just depending on your preference, you can find a color that you will love. I also really like Hush, but I don't own that one, but I will because it's beautiful. And then I have this one from Galactic Beauty. This is a pearl base. This is meant for your eyes, which I think so are the MAC ones, but I use this on my face and I love it. This is also a pinky highlight, but I don't know if you can tell. Shell is more rosy and this one is more of a really cool tone, like silvery pink. Beautiful nonetheless. I love this. The formula is a little bit tricky. It isn't as creamy as those, but it's so beautiful. Oh, I love it. Okay, so the rest of these highlights are powder highlights, so let's jump into them. I have two e.l.f. baked highlighters, and these are my favorite. I did have one called Blush Gems, but I gave that one away because these two I liked the most. This one is in Moonlight Pearl, and this one is in Pink Diamonds. Obviously, this one's pink, and this one's more of a champagne gold. I love baked products in general, but e.l.f. makes really, really nice baked highlighters. Especially where drugstore is concerned, these are really, really good, and I feel like they don't get talked about, and I don't know why, because they're amazing. I love them. They're very pigmented and really smooth on the face. But my favorite baked products from e.l.f. in terms of highlighting is actually a blush, but I mean, it's labeled a blush, but it's 100% not a blush. It is their baked blush in the shade Pink-tastic. This is what it looks like. This is my favorite one out of these three. This one is definitely my favorite. The undertone, it's so, so pretty. And out of all of them, this feels the smoothest. Like it goes on the best and the most pigmented, if that makes sense. This one is so good. So good. Let's talk about these Makeup Forever Pro Sculpting Duos. I touched base on the bronzers in my bronzer collection video. But now we're going to talk about the exciting part of these duos, and it's the highlight. This is what they look like. This one is in the shade 01 and this one is in the shade 02. The bronzers are pretty similar. One is just a little bit deeper, but the highlights are completely different. This one is a pinky silver highlight and this one is a beautiful gold. They're both equally pretty. This one gets a lot more hype, 02, the gold one, but this one is just as nice. This one I feel like is even more intense. Like it's so reflective on the skin. If you have a deeper skin tone, I recommend this one. If you are fair, I recommend this one. They could still both work, but you know, I light. This is the Mary Luminizer by The Balm. It's not metallic the way that these are. These give more of a metallic finish. This one is just like a super intense glow, if that makes sense. The formula is completely different. This one feels powdery. Not like chalky, but it feels like a powder, while the Makeup Forever ones almost feel like a gel, like a silk. It's kind of strange. But this one gives you such a pretty glow to the top of the cheeks, and I don't use this as often as I should. And I don't know why. Because it's definitely a cult favorite. This is my favorite drugstore highlight in the entire world, and definitely one of my top favorite highlights ever. Drugstore or high-end. Physicians Formula Shimmer Strip in the shade Miami Strip. This is what it looks like. I tend to keep my brush towards the top because I'm a little bit more fair. So if I want the highlight to look really intense, I just keep it up here. If I want to add more of a bronze look to my skin, I'll dip my brush into the bronzier shades. I really like this because it suits different skin tones because of the different colored strips. You do have to work with it because it's kind of like a thicker powder. I don't know how to explain it, but you can't really use like just a little fluffy brush and dip it in lightly and expect to get a lot of color payoff. You do have to go in with like a more dense brush. I like using one like this. This is the Real Techniques 300 brush. I'm like really popping my brush in there and then applying it to my cheeks that way. And then it gives like an intense Jennifer Lopez, like Jenny from the Block, like whoa, whoa, whoa. While we're on Physicians Formula, might as well talk about the other one I own. This is another shimmer strip, but this one is in the shade Natural Nude. Now this one, the formula is 100% different, but it does give kind of like the same effect. When you dip your finger in these, it's so silky, so buttery, and so pigmented that you really do need a light hand with this one. You can go in with a fluffy brush and only dab it in lightly and then apply it to your cheeks, and you still get a nice intense highlight. I just find that this one lasts longer on my cheeks than this one does. I don't know why, but they're both equally beautiful. They're very similar, but they're just different in terms of formula. These are the Bobbi Brown highlights that I own. Bobbi Brown is very, very famous for their shimmer bricks. Very, very similar to these by Physicians formula. I definitely would call this a dupe. But this formula is a little bit silkier. So I'm going to talk about these three that I own, and then I'll talk about this one. These are their shimmer bricks. Obviously, I just said that. And I have Pink Quartz, Bronze, and Apricot. Now, I got Apricot. And it's beautiful. It's my favorite one, but they don't make this one anymore. I got this one at a CCO when I was in Orlando. I don't know why they didn't make this permanent because it's a beautiful highlight. Nothing in my collection looks like this, believe it or not, because I have goldy highlights, pinky highlights, you know, and this one has like an orange undertone. It's a gold with orange in it, which orange is my favorite makeup color to wear. So I really love this one. Sucks that you can't get it. Try finding it at a local CCO. Then this one in the shade Bronze is a really pretty bronzer for me. I do use these two more of a highlight on the top of my cheeks, but this is a beautiful highlighting bronzer. I'm mentioning this in a highlighter video and not my bronzer video because this is a highlight for medium to deep skin tones. If you have very dark skin, this would be the most beautiful color on the top of your cheekbones. And then this one, and then this one definitely has to be my favorite permanent one. They still sell. This one is Pink Quartz, and it's so pretty. It's like a pink, but a silver and a gold and a bronze all in one. It's so gorgeous on the skin. You guys have no idea. This one is seriously beautiful. These are expensive, but are they pretty? And then this one was limited edition as well, but I do want to show you that I have it. This is Bronze Glow. I like the packaging on this one. This was a limited edition one that I could not get my hands on, and then like a couple of months ago, they brought it back for like a day, and I was on it and I ordered it. The texture of this one is so different, but the color is to die for. The formula is my favorite thing about it. It feels like butter when you put your finger in this. So I'm just mentioning it just in case they decide to just put it on the website again. Bronze Glow is beautiful. This is the e.l.f. Sunkissed Glow Bronzer, but it's a highlight. In the shade Sunkissed. I've spoken about this in a recent favorites video. I love this. It's such an intense gold, and it's $2. It's so pretty. It's like a gold highlight. Not like a white gold, champagne gold. It's gold, but it's good. It's a good gold. I love it, and it's so affordable. You really can't go wrong with this. I highly recommend you try it out. Speaking of gold, this is a new one for me. This is the Laura Geller Baked Gelato Illuminator in Gilded Honey. I heard Rosita Applebaum talk about this. Rosita? Everyone says this is a dupe for MAC Whisper of Guilt or Estee Lauder Heatwave. I don't own those, but if they look like this, then I know why everybody was obsessed with them, because this is beautiful. The formula is so silky, very similar to the formula in the Makeup Forever Duo, where it doesn't feel like a powder. It feels like something else. Not like a cream, but just so silky that it doesn't feel like you're putting your finger in a powder. And I love applying this with a brush just like that Real Techniques one, because it makes it like go on super intensely. I love this. And it's really nice for traveling because it's so little. I don't like the packaging. I mean, for what it costs, you better have better packaging. I want to talk about really natural highlights now. I have 3 highlights that I use whenever I want a glow, but I don't want to look like Jennifer Lopez. Which, I mean, doesn't happen often, but sometimes I just want something really natural. Like, for example, if I'm going for a really minimal makeup look, you know, just very little bit of makeup, chances are I'm going to put on highlight anyway because it's my favorite part of makeup, but I don't want like super intense when when the rest of my makeup is so like natural. So I'm gonna talk about my three natural ones. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in Luminous Light. And this is what it looks like. This is the highlight I have on the top of my cheekbones right now, on top of shell. So you can only see it very little. That glow is 100% back shell. I recommend this for a bride, for someone who's scared to highlight the face. This is the kind of powder that gives you a glow from within. Like if you have really, really oily skin, I think you would really like this. If you have oily skin and you're scared to highlight the face, you don't want to look greasy, I highly recommend the Hourglass ones. This one is the Girlactic Face Glow in the shade Natural, and that's exactly what it is. It's natural, but it's beautiful. This one is my favorite when I'm wearing mascara, eyebrows, and concealer. This is my favorite because it gives like a noticeable glow, but it's so natural that it looks like you're just shining naturally. And then this one is really similar. I just actually got this when I was in California last week. This is the Josie Maran Argan Enlightenment Illuminizing Veil. I got it mainly for the packaging because look how cute this is. And it says, "Shine the light you were born to shine, Josie." I love this. This does have little glitters in it, but when you apply it to the skin, those glitters don't really show up that much. And I like it if you're going for a natural look. This is the NARS blush in the shade Reckless. Now, this is not a blush. This is a highlight. This is what it looks like. And I typically do not like highlighters that NARS comes out with. I'm not a fan of Albatross. I'm just not a fan of NARS highlights. Like, I just feel like they never get it right. And I almost disliked this one. Like, I was almost there, like, oh, NARS, disappoint me again. But I swatched it on my hand at the store and I was like, what is this majestic creature? This is unlike any highlighter I have. And when I first got it, I hated it. Like, I liked how it swatched, but when I applied it to my skin, I was like, absolutely not. This has glitter, like pure glitter in it. And it's pink with like blue glitters almost. I don't know, it's the weirdest thing. But when you have like a Babam makeup look and you put like MAC Shell underneath this and then put this on top, the intensity you get on your face is like no other. And you can kind of see the sparkle, but I like that when I'm going out. Like I use this one if I'm like going somewhere at nighttime only and it's like a party or something because your face glows like a sparkle queen. This is the Sonia Kashuk Chic Luminosity Bronzer / Highlighter Duo. I got this at Target recently. And I love it. I love it because if you have dark skin tones, you can use the gold. And if you're super fair, you can use like the pink. And they're both so nice. The formula of this is amazing. So silky, so buttery smooth. I highly recommend this because it's affordable. And when you mix it all together, you get like a pinky bronze color. So essentially you get 3 highlights in one product. So you save like a ton of money there. You got 3 highlights. And it's so, so nice. This is a tried and true, an oldie but a goodie. This is MAC MSF Mineralized Skin Finish in Soft and Gentle. This is the first highlight I ever purchased. Like a classic. And it's actually like a beautiful classic. Like, man, I need to use this highlight more often because this is one of the prettiest highlights I have. It has a marbling through it, so you get kind of like a gold iridescence, but kind of like a champagne. There's a little bit of pink in there. It's just so, so beautiful, and it's baked, so I love the formula. I love baked products, so I really, really recommend this one. It's my favorite one at MAC on this. Out of all the highlights I own, out of all of them, when I'm wearing this one, someone tells me, what is on your cheeks? This is the Laura Mercier Matte Radiance, it's not matte, Matte Radiance Baked Powder Highlight in 01. It's not matte, it looks like this. I got this at IMATS, so I got it for 40% off, so I scored a really good deal on this. This is so intense. This is so glowy in a non-shimmery way. There's a lot of highlighters out there that are shimmery and kind of accentuate your pores or just kind of look like they're just sitting on top of your skin. This one is so intense, but it kind of makes your skin look smoother than it is, if that makes sense. I don't know. And the formula is just one of a kind. It's baked, so I love it. But because it's just pure glow, it's like a pure sheen, no shimmer, just like a intensity, it's gorgeous. My mom, every time I wear this one, she's like, I love that highlight every time I wear it. And Last drugstore one I have. This is actually a dupe for the Mary Luminizer by The Balm. This is the Baked Bronzer in the shade Tiki, and I haven't used this in so long, and I need to use it again. It's very, very similar to Mary Luminizer, and it's more affordable. And it's just a really pretty light gold. You can't go wrong. It's affordable, and it's actually a beautiful formula. Okay, and then last but not least, these are the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfectors Pressed in Moonstone and Opal. This is what they look like. If you watch YouTube videos, everybody and their mama talks about this. I feel like this opened the doors for so many people when it comes to highlighting. Like, I feel like a lot of people got obsessed with highlighting because of Becca. Everybody loves Opal. Like, everybody's favorite is Opal, but my personal favorite is Moonstone. I think Moonstone is a little bit prettier, a little bit more intense, and I see it more on my skin. Opal has a little bit more of a champagne finish, and this one's more of like a white gold, which I love. These are so intense, and these feel unlike any other powder. Like, out of all the highlights I have, these feel the creamiest, the butteriest, and the beautifulest. So I really, really love these. These are an investment. They're pricey, but they're so nice. And actually, while I was in California, Danny, not me, Danny, bought me rose gold and topaz. Danny purchased these for me while I was in California because he wanted me to have the whole collection. I didn't feel a need for these before because obviously I'm fair and this is not a highlight on my cheekbone. And this show is not no highlight on my cheekbone. But this is a great blush topper because it gives a beautiful rose gold sheen to your face. And this is amazing in the summertime to just dust really lightly on your bronzer to give you like a bronzy glow. So the formula is so good that, I mean, they're so good. So yeah, that completes this video. I know there were so many, but highlights are my weakness. Just like everything is. I hope you enjoyed this video, and today we are going to take another vote in the comment section. So my next makeup stash video 2 weeks from now, do you want it to be on blushes or foundations? I will eventually do everything else, but comment down below. Do you want to see blushes next or foundations? Let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. Like at all. In a set. So it has, what?
What are you doing?
I have Opal Champagne Gold, which is like a